Hey guys, this is Brian with Inspiring How You See That. We're the channel that talks about all different kinds of music and interviews some of your favorite artists. And today I have a very special guest. I have your Fractured Fairytale. And guys, thank you so much for spending this time with us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
And thank you for allowing us in your home. This is amazing. And as you can see, this is one of the coolest places we've done an interview. Look at this video game collection behind us. We're going to ask you some about that.
Okay.
Before we go any further, I'm going to have each of the guys introduce themselves and say what you do in the band.
I'm Corey. I play drums.
I'm David. I sing and play guitar.
And I'm Montana, and I play bass.
All right, thanks, guys. And we're here in Butler, PA. Are you all from this area?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And when did you get together as a band?
Well, me and Giff, we've been like best friends since, I don't know, 10, 11 years ago.
Something like
the
that.
year keeps getting like bigger, and I just keep forgetting it's getting bigger. Since like 11th grade, though. So we got together in like in an English project.
Nice.
Which we did like a video project. It was a Fractured Fairytale project. So
Oh, okay.
when we both realized we did music, we started a band, and we were like, your Fractured Fairytale. It was like Fractured Fairytale, but like more emo or something. Like it's your Fractured Fairytale. I don't know. But yeah, and then Montana just joined, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
I met David about 4 or 5 years ago. He introduced me to GIF, and about like a month and a half ago, I joined the band.
Mm-hmm.
I picked up a bass and said, "Teach me how to do this."
Our bass player, Andrew, he moved to California, and he was wonderful, but when he moved, we were kind of without, a bass
Sure.
player, and it got to the point where he was like very interested for a while, and he finally was just like, let's do it, and he like picked up the bass, learned our music in like 2 months, so
Nice.
he's a natural musician, yeah.
Nice. And how I first actually found out about you guys was I went and saw Fame on Fire in Pittsburgh, and you were one of the bands that played before them.
Mm-hmm.
And you were telling me that you actually played with them a couple times.
Yeah, that was the second time that we had played with them.
Okay.
We played
so
with them.
how did that feel opening for them?
It's always cool to open for a nationally touring act. It's
Sure.
always a cool thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're really nice guys too, and
Yeah.
so they came right up to us like before the show. This time we got to talk and joke around a little bit. They're great guys, put on a great show. So
Nice.
yeah,
So that was at the Craft House, which is a really cool venue. Been there for a number of shows, and you guys put on a great show.
oh thank you,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
We appreciate that.
Absolutely. I couldn't help when I was watching. I was like, okay, there's definitely some Blink 182. And I was even thinking some Red Jumpsuit Apparatus.
Oh sure,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
okay.
So what else are some of the influences that you guys have had?
So like when I was first getting into music, like the only thing that mattered for like the first 13 years of my life was Michael Jackson. And then I kind of like, as I got older, I got into the Beatles, and then that was when pop punk started to really like happen in the mainstream. So like, I always thought of like kind of like some of our main influences. It's like I always call them like the unholy trinity. It's like Blink 182, Sum 41, and Green Day.
Yep.
Like that's kind of like the core. But I remember Red Jumpsuit when they were happening.
Oh, yeah.
Taking Back Sunday, brand new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys had and forgive me, I forget the name. It was a slower song. It starts out slow. It sounded exactly like Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. And then midway through, it's like, bam, just like they do.
That's probably It's Our Lot.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So what was the story behind that song?
So whenever we were like in our band the first time, we were together all throughout high school, and then we went to college. We kind of went our separate ways. And I actually kind of went through a really dark period of my life where I was diagnosed with some mental health things, and I was actually in a hospital stay. And it was kind of like the party was over, and a lot of people were leaving my life. But actually, Giff was like one of the people who was like calling me up, saying like, "Hey, what's going on? I want to come back into your life."
Yeah.
And that song is actually a lot about some of the struggles I was going through, literally kind of telling the story of certain events and things like that. But that's what a lot of our album I'm Air was just kind of like a recovery piece and the story of kind of like getting better.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you guys released that in 2019, if I remember correctly.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. Now, is that the only album so far that you've released?
That's the only full-length
far,
album we have.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are you working on music right now currently?
We are, yeah. So both Giff and I have kids, and I just had my second kid last year. She's actually going to be 1 year old in like a week,
Nice.
basically.
Congratulations.
So, yeah. Oh, thank you. But like I had no idea how much even like the second child would add on to the first. You kind of feel like, oh, like I got this figured out, but that second one, like radically changes even that. So the process has definitely slowed a little bit, but we have a lot of songs we're working on. I made like a sheet on my phone, and we have like 30 to 40 things that are either finished or we consider worth finishing, and
Nice.
we're working on songs every week, so it's coming.
Very cool. Very similar style to the first album, or are you guys kind of branching out a little bit?
It's definitely like if you know our song Blue and like our song It's Our Lot in Life, it's a little darker and a little bit heavier, I'd say.
Okay.
So yeah, there's still a little bit of pop punk sprinkles in there. I don't think we'll ever leave that kind of that love that we have for
Sure.
that. But it's definitely kind of going into a heavier path, I'd say.
Sure. Now, where do you guys see yourselves in 5 years as a band?
Hopefully still doing what we're doing and playing shows and having fun and writing good music.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's the ultimate goal, is just to have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like we always have like ideas in our head. Like we always set goals where it's like, and it's so sad that this place closed down. But like in our when we restarted the band, we were like, when we play Alta Bar, like we've made it. But then Alta Bar closed down. We thought that was such a great venue, but like we love like places like the Roxy and Thunderbird. We'd love to play places like that. So obviously, like playing shows, that's like the best part.
Sure.
So we want to keep playing, want to keep writing, and I think at this point we're satisfied doing it at our own pace. You know,
Sure.
it's what we love. You know, so
Nice. Now, you guys played that show. Do you have more shows coming up that people can go and see you live?
not at the moment.
Not at the moment,
yeah.
but hopefully soon. Yeah.
Okay. Now things are opening up.
Right,
And,
yeah. It's kind of getting a little easier to book shows now than it has been in the past
Yeah.
Sure.
year and a half.
that was only our second show post like the shutdown and everything. So we were still kind of dusting ourselves off a little bit, but yeah, we've been talking with people, you know, as of recently, and it's a lot easier. Like there were some people who were like trying to throw like micro shows during the shutdown, where it's like you can invite 15 people and that's it, and it's like, well, then we'd just be playing for like our friends and family, and they've been to every show.
That's what we do anyway.
Yeah, so it's like we'll wait till it gets, you know, a little safer and stuff like that. So, but now we're getting closer and closer to that. So
Nice. Awesome. Now, as a band that you guys are starting to hit your stride, starting to gain some notoriety, what would you recommend to somebody who's just starting out as a brand new band?
I think for me at least, just have fun with it. Like don't take yourself too seriously. Don't try to make music, and don't try to make music just to make music and make fame for it. Like
Sure.
You should definitely do it because you have a passion for it and because you have a love for making music and that it's fun for you. You shouldn't really do it just to try to make like a job out of it. You should just have it as a hobby and just do it if you love it.
Sure.
Yeah, when it becomes a job and becomes a chore, that's when people stop having fun with it.
Yeah.
The ultimate goal, at least for me, is to have fun doing what we're doing. And, you know, I've been playing music my whole life. It's one of my favorite things to do. And I don't ever want it to not be one of my favorite things to do. So.
Yeah.
And like one suggestion I'd have too is, and it might not even really need said much anymore, but like getting into like recording music too was such a game changer for like me, even in writing, because it's like now I can like lay down a track and now I can like write on top of that one, where before it was just me writing acoustic guitar in my
Yeah.
dorm room. But you know, so many people have home studios now. It's not necessarily unusual, but if you don't, I highly encourage, like there's a learning curve definitely in the beginning, but it will help keep your music going, and it'll help give you like fresh ideas, and it'll help your music grow.
Sure.
So yeah.
And where can fans follow you guys online?
We have a Facebook, we have an Instagram. You can find us on all major streaming platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora.
Okay.
Yeah, anything.
Nice. Yep. Very cool. And guys, before we go, is there anything else that you'd like to say to fans?
Thank you for enjoying our music.
I guess I'll just say like getting our first album out there was like such an achievement for us. You know, it was kind of like, even if nobody listens to this, like it was the thing we started and we saw all the way through. Like I think I said before, like there were a ton of times where this thing could have stopped for multiple of reasons, like, you know, not even to mention like the hospital and stuff like that. But we saw it from finish to end, and like that we were just proud of. But I mean, to say after that, like, thank you so much, even if you listen to it like one time. Thank you for checking us out and giving us the time of day.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
And guys, thank you again. This has been awesome. We really appreciate it. And as always, thank you guys for spending this time with us. We love you all. God bless, and rock on.